everybody, this is Caitlin here, and welcome back to the next Legacy Lost spoiler articles. I'm very sorry that this video is actually quite late. I was really busy getting ready for Brony Scott at the weekend there that it totally slipped my mind to actually record the spoiler reactions or whatever to these ones that came out on Friday there, so hence why this is going up on Monday. So apologies for that in advance, but I guess this means you'll get like back-to-back videos anyway because Card Game Tuesday is obviously tomorrow, so you know, like swings and roundabouts a little bit, but this set of spoilers are actually quite interesting in particular because they're all pretty much they're all to do with fairy tales, and if you thought fairy tales were broken before with Millium, well, they're about to get a whole lot more broken with this set of spoilers. First up, we have Snow White of the Crystal Apple, so we've got a brand new Snow White. That makes like, well, like including her J Ruler, if you're counting that as two different characters or whatever, plus the red Snow White that we got in Alice Cluster, there's now been like 4 different Snow Whites. So I'm curious to see if we're going to get any more, like, not reprints, but more like reincarnations of previous fairy tales, like we did with like Hansel and Gretel and Cheshire Cat and all that. I would like to see what Cinderella would look like now, because this Snow White looks really different to the one that Alice summoned. So I think that would be really neat. But she is a 4-cost resonator with 2 light and 2 void. Her attack and defense are 0, but there's a reason for that. When she enters your field, this card enters your field with 2 plus 100 counters on it for each light magic stone you control. So by the time you have enough will anyway to play her, which is 4, she'll enter as an 800, I believe, if I'm doing my math correctly. And you can pay 1 light and remove one of these counters from the card, and you can put that counter on another light J/Resonator. So sadly, it doesn't work for all your fairy tales. If you're going to be running multicolored fairy tales with Millium, it can only affect the light ones. So sadly, we can't be buffing up Captain Hook or Tiger Lily and stuff like that. But I think she's really cool. I really like her artwork. It's kind of like, I like how it's like different from like the original fairy tale of Snow White, where they're like, oh, her hair was ebony and she had like crimson lips. Like, I really like this kind of pure like white apple like motif they're going with, like the crystal apple. I really like it. It works really well. Next up, we have the 7 Dwarfs, who have some very creepy artwork. I'm not the biggest fan, especially like this one in the middle here with the worm coming out of the apple. The 7 Dwarves are 3-drop, 2 light and 1 void. Also 0/0 on attack and defense, and the reason for that is when they enter your field, they enter with 7 100 counters on them. You prevent all damage that would be dealt this card. If damage was prevented, then you can remove a 100 counter from it. So basically, the way it works is, the way it was worded or whatever, the way I understand it, is you, like, say your opponent is attacking this thing, and it will deal damage to it or whatever. You can prevent the damage, and by doing that, you would have to like remove a counter, so basically lower itself, so it would become a 600. So you could, in a way, it's a way to make sure that it won't die immediately. Like from like the way you drop it or whatever, so you can stall for time or whatever until like it gets to the point it's so weak or whatever that it's not even worth saving. But funnily enough, the Bear Water Transformation magic does not actually remove the counters on these cards. This one and Snow White, they technically get a buff if you cast like the bear magic on them, because they're getting a buff of 400. They're losing their ability to, say, remove the damage counter or like pass on a 100 counter to another resonator, but they still keep their counters or whatever because they entered with them, and their attack is already attack and 0 defense on the printed bit. So they are technically getting a buff, is what I was reading from it anyway, and what everyone else was saying. Next up, we have Skyscraper Giant, who is totally terrifying. It is a red 7-drop. It is 2 red and 5 void. It is a 1700 on attack and defense. Obviously a fairy tale. Comes with precision and barrier specifically from chance. So again, it's protected from the Bear Water Transformation magic. It's protected from thunder. It's protected from demon flame. It's protected from, you know, all sorts of things like any other things that destroy resonators basically. And it also comes with this ability where if you tap it, it deals 800 damage to each J/Resonator without flying, which is pretty scary considering that I don't think a lot of decks nowadays have a lot of flyers, so I feel like the majority of them are like dependent on their ones that are low to the ground. So I mean, that would be pretty scary if you just like tapped it and literally everything that doesn't fly would be dead. And you're thinking, well, how can we get this awesome like giant out when he costs so much? Well, Jack climbing the beanstalk is the answer. And I have to say, I fell in love with his artwork. Like, literally, he is the cutest fairy tale resonator I have ever seen. I am so in love with Jack right now. I like badly want them to make a playmat of him. I don't know like what they would do for the rest of the art, whatever, but I badly want to see the full art version of this, like. And I don't really mean like the kind of graphic-y card version. I mean like just the artwork itself without the text and all that stuff. I want to see that because I think that would look gorgeous. And I want a Jack playmat. It's probably not going to happen because like, you know, he's just a random resonator. But I would love it if he got a playmat. But anyway, he's a 3-drop. He's 2 wind and 1 void. He's 800 and he comes with a neat ability of when this card deals damage to your opponent, you can banish this card, and if you do, you search your deck for a card named Skyscraper Giant, so that big scary guy back there, and put it into your field, and then shuffle your deck. So essentially, play the chant, I think it's like Dreams of Flight or something like that. Give Jack flying. If your opponent, you know for sure that your opponent doesn't have any flying resonators, hit your opponent for damage, banish Jack, and bring out the giant. Like, that's probably the best play. Ideally, you could maybe even play that, say, I would think by turn 4. By turn 4, if you have Dreams of Flight and you've stuck Jack out, you can definitely, like, for sure, you can go out there and you can swing and deal damage and get that giant in. And, you know, he is a big scary guy, so, like, that would be absolutely terrifying. So, and, you know, I still adore this guy. He's awesome. I love him. Next we have Planting Beans, a 1-drop chant, which is wind. You search your deck for a card and put it into your graveyard. Then shuffle your deck. If this card was awakened, put that card from your graveyard into your hand. And its awakening is 1 wind and void. So basically what you're doing is you're searching your deck. It's basically deck searching anyway. So you're searching for a card, put it into your graveyard, and then you're able to get that card into your hand. Which, funny thing is, I saw someone like debating about whether Dark Alice's removal from the graveyard effect would trigger this, but I think it was confirmed that Dark Alice wouldn't have any effect because by the time the card is awakened and whatnot, then the full thing is going into effect, and there is like the card already chosen to go from graveyard to hand, so there's no way for Dark Alice to target that card in particular to be removed from the game. So Dark Alice's ability won't be able to touch that if you pull this off, which, you know, you could maybe use this card to search your Dreams of Flight or your Jack and the Beanstalk or whatever to pull off that giant combo deck. Well, for that turn or whatever. I think that would be a pretty neat way to do it. And last but not least, we have Milliam's Weapon, a quick cast light of 1-drop. You put 2 100 counters on the target resonator, and I like the text underneath because it says, under Zero's teachings, Milliam was able to use his weapon to grant power to others. But you look at the artwork here, and Milliam, like, he's swinging his sword about, but he doesn't look like he's, like, too happy, or he looks as if he's maybe in pain, or something like that. Like, I don't know, like, he's got, like, I think he's got some kind of cut on his cheek here. Like, he's got, like, some cut in his cheek, and like, I don't know, like, the way I'm thinking about it is he looks like he's deep in battle. He looks like he's a little bit injured or whatnot, and he's like desperately trying to like share his like with like resonators or whatnot, or to his allies, and you know, it's given me food for thought and whatnot. So I'm really interested to see what's going to like happen with Milliam and the rest of the crew in this set, considering that I think it's basically confirmed that Feasting's going to die, and Kikugi's probably going to be very upset. Zero's going to be very upset. So I think it's going to be great, and hopefully it'll be really good for their character development, because as we know, like in the Alice cluster, a lot of characters really didn't get that much, you know, character development in particular. You know, like I mean, that's a whole other rant that I could put on about, but yeah, in particular, I do hope that like these things are going to help with the story and whatnot. But anyway, guys, those were those spoilers from Friday. Tomorrow we'll have more spoilers, whatever. I do believe that they were accidentally spoiled early, so I won't be posting the video until tomorrow, obviously, because it's Card Game Tuesday, and so I expect maybe to come in the afternoon later on. Tomorrow is when I'll be doing my win-a-box tournament or whatever at my locals, so I might not be particularly on time with them, but they will definitely be going out tomorrow. So until next time, guys, I will see you all later.